What's up, everyone? All of us here at Enjoy the Show have visited a lot of MLB stadiums.
Celebrated the Dodgers World Series win on the field at Yankee Stadium.
I even sat front row at Oracle Park.
And we've been to some of the best on the East Coast, meeting Juan Soto at Nats Park.
Even Shohei Ohtani at Lone Depot Park.
All I gotta say is I'm from Boston, America's most beloved ballpark, so it's gonna be an S for me.
But enough of all that, we figured it'd be time to rank every MLB stadium, so let's get straight into it.
Before we get started, we'll be ranking each stadium on 3 things: fan atmosphere, the stadium facilities, and of course the food. And first up, we got American Family Field, home of the Brewers. Liam and I went there last summer. Tony, you said you've been 2 or 3 times, so what are your thoughts on American?
I've been there twice when I was younger, when it was originally called Miller Park, so I haven't really been there recently. I kind of want to pass it off to you guys on this one.
When we were there, the food was great and the stadium itself was super cool. We got to go on the slide, which is absolutely dope. Fan atmosphere was alright. I can't remember who they were playing.
Cubs.
So it was supposed to be like kind of a rivalry game, and I just didn't really feel like the fan atmosphere was there.
I thought there was great energy
Really?
there.
Okay, I mean, for me, I just needed more. Like, that should have been like a playoff stakes game, and it just wasn't quite for me, but I'm feeling like B tier.
A tier, bro.
A tier?
We got to ride the slide. We got a full tour of the stadium. I thought that place was lit. The cheese curds were amazing.
Cheese curds were good. All right.
Then I'm all for A.
People sleep on Milwaukee. I was like blown away, and it's lit.
All right, Angel Stadium. Gabe's been there a lot more than we have, but we've had some pretty good moments there. We saw Shohei when he was still an Angel. That was pretty cool. But with that said, I don't think it's up there with most of them.
I had a great experience once. One time I drove down with my buddy to go watch Shohei pitch and hit, and then drive to San Diego for a night game after. So that was a fun time. I saw Shohei hit a home run and go about 5 innings. But really, just the food is kind of lacking.
Food was so expensive.
Yeah.
It was really expensive for what we got. I remember specifically being like, oh, that's it. It's
Exactly.
fine. It's nice.
Exactly.
It's a good view. It's a little old.
I think it's nice. It's a little old. Just walking around, there's ramps everywhere. It's hard to get around the stadium.
So many levels.
I feel like the atmosphere is not as electric.
For all those reasons, I'd probably put it in B tier.
I'd say B, yeah. I'd say B.
Yeah.
I'd say B is a good starting point.
They're due for an upgrade, though. Next one is Busch Stadium. I'm the only one in the group who has been there, but I guess Leo has a story about Busch Stadium.
I just know that you can like bring food and beer from outside the stadium, which is a cool fact.
If more of you guys had gone there, I would be leaning towards S tier because of how great the stadium really is. But since none of you guys have been there, it'd be kind of weird to give it that. I would definitely give it an A tier. Just the whole vibe around it gives you that like kind of the Battery, like in Atlanta, how they've built it.
Yes, they have the bars,
Busch was
right?
first,
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
you could go and just hang out in a bar, just walk 10 steps into the stadium. There's a whole line of them, stores, everything. I would give it an A tier. I think you guys might agree. Sometimes it's up there for like a top 5 stadium, so I'd give it A tier.
I'm 100% up there with an A too. Chase Field, been there a lot.
A lot.
We've done the Combine twice there. PG
Perfect
All-American
game.
twice.
World Series.
World
we saw
Series,
there.
World
Yeah.
Series, Churro Dog experience. Just the remarks I have about Chase Field are they have great food. You can get chicken tenders. You can also go to Chick-fil-A. They have kind of just like vast options. They pump AC into the stadium, and the fans really are about the Diamondbacks.
The one thing I would say is I just can't see it up there with like that OG kind of baseball feel,
Yeah.
like that, you know, Brewers, Cardinals, and of course like Red Sox will be up there and all that, and Dodgers. It's not up there for me, as considering what it's next to. I think in B tier.
Yeah.
I think like it's a lot different vibe than Angel Stadium.
Put it in front of Angel Stadium.
I think that looks good to me.
I still think Arizona has spring training.
True,
I
exactly.
I
You
don't
think
think
spring
Chase
training
Field yet.
Arizona,
I don't
you
think
don't
Chase
think
Field
Chase.
yet.
So B tier.
Okay, so I'm up next with Citi Field. The reason why we keep switching is because we're doing everyone that's been to each stadium, so I'm the only one that's been to Citi Field. I actually loved Citi Field. I was really young when I went, but the atmosphere was amazing. The Mets fans are just crazy, you know, New Yorkers. I remember the food being pretty good, actually, because I'm a pretty picky eater. Oh, they had a nice bridge in right field, I remember. I think we were there for a Dodgers series, so it was just crazy. Considering all the hype around the Mets, I think you gotta give it an A. The atmosphere is just electric for it to be lower than that. No, it's not better than Brewers. They don't have a slide. There we go.
All right, next we got the Bank, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. I love this stadium. Have a lot of good memories there. Saw the World Series there when it was Astros, Phillies, and they had like 5 home runs in that one game, so that place was literally shaking.
I went 2018 when it was a Nats Phillies game, and I caught some heat there for all the gear I was wearing. So I feel like the fan atmosphere for one fan base is 10 out of 10. For the other 29, it's not so great. But the food was really good, and I remember the bell celebration after each home run.
The
I
bell
love
celebration,
the bell. The
yeah,
bell was
that-
sick.
that was my favorite
It's getting
part about
points
it.
for that.
I think it's an A-tier stadium. Some upgrades too, in like the outfield. There's some cool box seating areas. The Philly fans are just insane, like next level.
Yeah,
So
Phillies are going
right there.
here.
I like that one. Let me know what you guys think of that one. All right, I'm the only one here who's been to Comerica Park. I wouldn't say it's for the best, but it's like you guys aren't really missing out on much. It's okay. It's an okay stadium. Ford Field's right next door, which is cool. Kind of has like a fun little, it has like a Ferris wheel over there and like a little kids section. But at the same time, it's just nothing insane. And recently the atmosphere has been pretty dead since the Tigers haven't been good, except for the playoffs. The playoffs was a little lit. Regular season games, they get some of the worst showing. I don't want to give it a C though. I'm going to put it at B behind the Angels and Diamondbacks because there are definitely worse stadiums. I'm looking at Tampa Bay and Oakland. I don't think it's anything crazy, but it's a good one to check off the list. And they have some cool things that you can do, especially if you're a kid. We got to run around the bases after the game. That was fun, but it's nothing crazy. So I'm going to give it a low-ish B.
So next up we have Coors Field in Denver, Colorado.
We all went there for the first time last year.
We didn't go for a game. We went for a home run derby event with NFL players. I tried to hit a bomb, but couldn't. I don't know if that elevation thing is true.
I don't know how much we can really attest to the fan atmosphere considering we haven't been to a game, but we did see a lot of Rockies jerseys at the bars and restaurants around town.
And I think it was a great, like, downtown. It was a great, like,
Great area around the stadium.
Yeah.
Field itself is pretty majestic. I like how they've got the park out there in right center, the waterfalls and stuff. So it's a beautiful field. The one thing we can't talk about is the food. Like, we literally haven't tried the food there, so we don't know what they have to offer. The concessions weren't even open. Who knows? They might be charging like $7 for a hot dog.
I think it's kind of sick. It's the only ballpark that's a mile high. It's got the mile high line.
Yeah.
In the top bleachers. That's
for me,
cool.
I think B tier, right behind Diamondbacks and Angels there.
But we need to go for an actual lit Rockies game, and we'll get back to you.
The Rockies got to be good again.
Minute Maid Park. I know they changed the name, but it's still Minute Maid to me.
Home of the Houston Astros. We went there in 2023, right? We saw the Nats and the Reds visit the Astros. Food was really good there. I do remember got that helmet nachos. That was good. And we met Mattress Mac. Fans were great.
Before we went to Houston, our only experience with Astros was them getting booed by opposing fans. But when we pulled up to the Astros stadium, we were shocked by how passionate their fans are. They completely have their team's back.
Also gotta love the Crawford boxes in left field. So I think this is getting an A?
No,
like
no,
back
no,
of the
no,
A
no,
or the
no,
top
no,
of the
no.
B?
Two things with the Astros. I thought they lost points when they took away the hill in center field. Some people may disagree. And then the other thing, the concourse was really like compact. Can't imagine like a playoff game there. It could be super hectic. We were just at a regular season game and it felt pretty packed.
This is a sick park though. I
But
think
still
it's
a sick
top
park.
of the B.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dodger Stadium, Gabe and I's hometown stadium. We've been there probably. You can't even count
how many times I've been there. So many fond memories. It was my second ever baseball stadium I've ever been to.
It was my first, I think, for sure.
I might be biased here, but I feel like there's so much history with Dodger Stadium. The team, the fans, the atmosphere, the food.
Okay, the
food is amazing.
Let's just say, like, Dodger Stadium, they were lacking on like the renovations for a little bit, and then realized that they had to catch up. Have been renovating the stadium every year, adding great things. They have all these new Asian items.
Every option.
There's literally every option.
cuisine.
Tacos, barbecue, great clubs where you can get the all-you-can-eat stuff.
I don't see how you can't put this stadium with the history and everything at an S tier.
I think it's an S tier. It's an S tier.
It may not be as pretty as all the other S tier stadiums. I think the history and everything that goes with it puts it at.
They excel at stadium facilities because they're always evolving, always renovating. They're renovating as we speak. And I just have to say, like, y'all can hate on Dodger fans all you want, but we get into this, bro. We do not play around. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Dodger Blues.
Yes.
So yeah, S tier. First S tier so far.
Clap it up for Dodger Stadium, baby. Come on.
Reigning champs.
All right, next up we got Fenway Park, our home stadiums and like your favorite team stadium. Yeah, I think I already know where I'm going with this one. The history, America's most beloved ballpark. If you walk in there, it feels like you're in a movie every single time. The food's good. That little Budweiser concourse up in right field's sick. You can do like private gatherings. I've sat in a suite there. I've sat on first row. I've done all the different levels up really high. I love the stadium.
Have you been on the Green Monster?
Except for the Green Monster. That's an experience that you really have to do. Honestly, I think that we might do that. I was gonna do it last year for a video. I think this season we'll do that for a video.
I've never seen a more lit fan atmosphere. When I was there in 2018, there was a free Tom Brady chant that I remember. The seats are a little cramped, that's the one thing, but like, you're gonna be standing, bro. And it's so beautiful, bro.
S tier.
Above the Dodgers, definitely above the Dodgers.
Points. Number one, S tier. S tier. Yankee Stadium is fine. It's fine. I'm a Red Sox fan. It's solid. It was lit though. We went for the World Series there. The place was popping, except they were losing most of the time, so it was kind of tough to judge. I do think it's still probably high B, low A.
A only because of the energy.
It's okay, fine.
This is horrible
Got
bias.
it. You got the Red Sox fans doing it.
Why is Milwaukee on a pedestal like this?
Milwaukee's lit.
Move
Lit.
Milwaukee down.
If anything, I would throw it like there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good. Cardinals in front of City.
I think Cardinals in front of City.
City in front of Yankees?
Ooh, that's better.
solid. Stop moving it so much.
All right.
So now we got Globe Life Field. We've all been there. I think All-Star Week we were there a bunch of times. We've been there actually a good amount of times.
World
Even for the
Series
World
too.
Series too. We were there. It was popping for the World Series. Very cool amenities. So new and the suites are so nice.
If you're speaking like facilities and food wise, it's up there for sure. But the only thing that brings it down from like possibly being an S or a high A is the atmosphere. I just don't think the Rangers fans pop out. Come at me.
The food is really great there. They have multiple barbecue options.
I think you throw them just right behind the Mets.
behind the Mets.
Yeah,
Plus,
because
the Rangers
those both their fan bases are better.
And just in general, like I feel like the Rangers are like making waves of just still like making sure they're in the top contending teams, and they have a great stadium for that too. It's awesome.
Next up, Great American Ballpark, home of the Cincinnati Reds. I really love this ballpark personally. I've been a couple of times in my life, 2018 and 23, I think. Liam, what do you got about it?
Coolest thing about this stadium, I think, was the history there. They acknowledge a ton of their history.
They've got really good food too. The chili cheese dogs, I remember they're super cheap. So honestly, they're on the verge of like A or B. Fans used to be really good. I know they were passionate. Reds, the intensity hasn't been there as much in the last couple of years, but I know Reds fans are loyal. I'm thinking strong B tier.
Strong B tier, I think.
It's a historical ballpark, dude. I think it's the
Yeah,
best.
the history's
best
so
league.
cool
Yeah.
there.
All right, top at B tier.
All right, so next we got Kauffman Stadium. I'm actually the only one out of the group here who has been to Kauffman Stadium too. I went in August. We saw Bobby. I think Bobby went 3 for 4. Stadium was beautiful. The outfield section is just so nice. The parking I remember was really easy because Arrowhead, it shares like a parking lot, so it's super easy to get in and out. The food was really good. I remember they had a lot of cool different options, and honestly, it's just a great stadium, and they actually show out. Like Royals fans, even when they aren't doing well, they were doing well this year, but even when they aren't doing well, they're still decent in the attendance categories. But I think I would probably give it like, I think it's above Globe Life. I would even put it above, I would put it above Yankee Stadium. I'd put it here. I'd put it right below Busch. I think right behind Busch. And I went back-to-back nights. I went to Busch Stadium, then I went to the Royals game. I would give it a strong A. It's not up there with the greats, but it has potential. Yeah, I would give it a strong A. Next up, we got Lone Depot Park, also known as the Marlins Stadium. I haven't seen a game here. You guys have seen a game there, but it was a different type of atmosphere. It wasn't your normal Marlins game.
Yeah, World Baseball Classic. The atmosphere is definitely off the chart, but as a Nats fan, I'm watching a lot of Marlins games on TV, and dude, they are pretty stray. You can hear the fans echoing in there, like you hear the players down on the field in the broadcast, so I feel like the atmosphere's gotta be some of the worst in the league.
It definitely is. Like in the attendance records would show it. It's like right next there with Oakland.
The food was really good.
Food is incredible.
during
Food is good.
WBC.
Cuban food was great. actually.
Arepas.
The food was incredible, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to redeem the stadium for being our first C tier.
The colors aren't really it. Like, I miss the light green.
And
like,
they used to have the
and the
home run
sculpture.
sculpture in center field. Now they
Yeah.
moved it out.
in the fish tanks behind home plate.
I think it
We're
is our
throwing this in
first
C.
C, unfortunately. Sorry, Marlins fans, the few and the proud. C tier.
If my Pookie was a stadium, Nationals Park.
Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Obviously, there's going to be some hometown bias here, but I got to try and throw it out the window. I love this ballpark. I know people say that it's not that beautiful, but I think you get some really good views of like the monuments and stuff.
Cherry blossoms?
Yeah, you get the cherry blossoms around opening day, so I think it's a beautiful ballpark. I think the food is really good too. Unique cuisine there. You got the Red Porch restaurant in center field. If you're ever out there, definitely eat there. For me, I think we're putting this in the B tier. Truthfully, got to throw the bias out the window. I'm a Nats fan, and I'm leaning with Dan. I don't think it's better than Cincinnati. We'll put it here second.
Here's my strategy right now. We've got about 3 left that I think could actually make an argument for S tier.
Yes.
But we're going to narrow it down to picking 2 of them. And I think one of them has to be Oracle Park. I mean, Oracle Park is like unanimously a top 3 ballpark in baseball. Everyone would say it. It's amazing. The view, the McCovey Cove is nuts. There's history there too, but it also has that modern vibe.
Yes.
We went inside the Gotham Club. Like that was
The
sick.
food. Okay,
Food.
cut to me eating the ice cream sundae from Ghirardelli. Seafood options. We have crab. There's lobster
Sweet
bisque.
treats.
There's plenty of sweet treats. There's the staples like chicken tenders and burgers. Tony's Pizzeria.
Big enough to walk around, but still has that quaint vibe.
Exactly. Feels like you're on top of the field, but there's all those other like things surrounding, and you could look right into the cove.
And we were on field level for the first time ever a couple nights ago when we did that. It's not top. Again, the bias is going to
Exactly.
show.
Those are the greats right there.
But like, even if as a player, you got to walk around the warning
Yes.
track and stuff, you see all the views
Yes.
and stuff. It's just,
it's right, like
It's an S.
It's kind of its like separate part of San Francisco too.
Yeah.
I think possibly one of the best stadiums in sports.
The only reason why it's not in front of the Dodgers or Fenway is because of the atmosphere.
and we're biased.
And bias.
Orioles Park at Camden Yards. Can't say enough good things about this place.
It's so beautiful. The friendliest security guards we've ever met.
The staff there is absolutely incredible. Whether
Yeah.
it's ushers, people that we see up in the press box, or at the concession stands, everyone is so friendly. Definitely the best in baseball. The food is also incredible too. The crab hot hot dog. Used to be better when they had the mac and cheese on it. They got rid of that, but still incredible.
And the team is lit right now.
Fans know how to have fun out in left field too with the splash zone, so
Yeah.
for that reason, I think it's a strong A tier. Where in the A tier? I'm not really sure.
Top of the A tier.
Top of the A tier. I definitely think it's better than Citizens Bank Park. You're right. So
Bro,
for that reason,
incredible
best in
stadium.
the A tier. Shout out to Camden Yard.
Next up, Petco Park,
Petco
home of the
Park,
San Diego
I know where
Padres.
it's going.
Y'all heard me glazing a second ago. So.
I know where it's going.
Rowdy
I
fans
feel
in
like
San
the
Diego.
fans are on top of you. It's amazing. The food is insane.
They used to have this place called Phil's Barbecue. Best barbecue. It's a local spot. Now they have a different local spot. The tacos, it's just like every West Coast stadium. You can get tacos, you can get barbecue, and seafood. It's insane.
Anything.
Gabe, my question to you is, where is it gonna go?
S.
For atmosphere.
It's
Atmosphere wins.
The atmosphere is insane. I went to a playoff game last year.
Playoff game.
It was ridiculous.
We all were there. We went together.
It was ridiculous.
If you're on the S tier, you know, there's not a ton of room in between them. They're all great stadiums.
But if you have not gone to Petco Park, make sure you go. The atmosphere
go
is
right now.
amazing.
Shout out to the fans.
PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the single most beautiful stadium for its beauty. Atmosphere and other things are
The skyline. The skyline
That's-
is beautiful.
yeah,
That
single best
view
skyline
is
you could ever
unbeatable.
imagine. The black and gold, amazing food, amazing vibes. When PNC Park is lit, it is the single best stadium on earth, but it has not been lit
That
in
was
recent
my
years.
one knock on it. Like, it might not be as lit in the last like decade as
Even when we went in 2022, they were playing the Phillies. They won both games. One was a walk-off, and the fans were in it throughout. Even though the team wasn't necessarily competitive and the game didn't mean anything, I think the fans were pretty good. For me, it's still a quality A-tier ballpark.
I think it might be a low S tier.
I think it's S tier just because of the sheer beauty
I
of
think
it, bro.
below Giants, so that might be it. If we round out the S tier, I think that would be a really good top 5. So I think what we should do at the end is we all secretly vote on our phones on what our favorite stadium is. Whatever one has the most votes, you know, in private on our unbiased review is the winner. So I'll vote at the end. Make sure you stay tuned for that to see what our #1 overall stadium is. I guess that'd be the S+. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Cleveland, my love letter to you. I just gotta say, I've been inside the stadium. I've never been to a game, but I spent a lot of time with Cleveland Guardians fans and Cleveland Browns fans. I think they might be some of the most committed fans in sports. They are diehard.
I went to a 3-game series, Guardians Astros in 2022, and it was absolutely lit. It was in the middle of August, but Guardians fans showed out. They are so committed and passionate about their team. The stadium wasn't too flashy or anything. I don't remember being blown away by the food or anything. I think upper B tier.
High B, I'd say, or what do you think?
Above the Astros.
Above the Astros, that's good. That's good.
Don't worry, guys. The C tier does need some more love. What's the stadium called? Guaranteed Rate Field. I went for
Cellular.
the most lit series of the year when it was Cubs White Sox and it was mostly Cubs fans. And even then, I still would put it in C tier. It was lit. It was fun. It was exciting. Except the White Sox were so bad last year, so it was kind of just funny how like bad they were, and also the stadium's pretty bad too. It's fine. Like there was a couple good things. Like they had these really like cool milkshakes that there was like a line of like 100 people to get. Couldn't get it, so that might even put it in a lower tier because of that. I was really pissed about that. Just seems like they need more love. You know, that's kind of the theme with these bad ones. They just need more love. Kind of starts with the team being better. So they need the team to be better.
Okay, so next we have the Blue Jays, the Rogers Center. I was there when I was a little jit. I'm gonna have to rate this stadium. I think I'm gonna go B. It's beautiful atmosphere. When the dome was open, you can see the CN Tower. You can see all the skyscrapers and all that. I think a B tier fits well. I remember the food being pretty good. The people, I love Canadians. They're amazing. They're super nice. I was there around the time like Jose Bautista was hitting bombs. You know, the crowd was going insane. So I think a solid B for now is good. And, oh yeah, and they have the hotel, which is pretty sick. They're the only stadium to have like a hotel in the stadium. Maybe if I stayed there, I'd rank it higher. I'm putting it in front of D-backs. Sorry. Yeah.
T-Mobile Park, home of the Seattle Mariners, some of the most loyal fans in baseball, which is sad because they're in such a bad curse right now. I think it's a good year for the Mariners. I think they're gonna pick it up, and I think the stadium will be rowdy. Right next to Lumen Field, which is the most lit atmosphere in all of football. I went there last year. That was sick. That whole area is super cool. It's kind of like a sports section. It's not an S tier, obviously, but it still has that kind of like new vibe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I only went for the All-Star game, so my fan atmosphere is definitely a little biased, but the food is great there. I was a little upset. I tried to get chowder in a bread bowl, and they didn't serve it in the bread bowl. I just got the chowder, so losing points for that, but it's still good.
We went that one time for J-Rod game and All-Star game. I really liked the atmosphere, and I really liked the stadium itself. I like the view. I think the view is really
really nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would fall somewhere in that B category, right behind the Diamondbacks.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's better than the Diamondback. Better than Houston.
Better-
I think there it falls. I think it's a good one. I think, honestly, if the Mariners have a better year this year, it would bump up just for the atmosphere vibe of it. Like, that place bumping would be really cool. But, yeah, I think solid B.
All right, next up, boys, we got Target Field, home of the Minnesota Twins. I am really biased to this stadium. I think it's a really awesome stadium. It's one of the newer ballparks. I was there for opening day in 2010. I think I can confidently say I'm gonna put it in the A tier. None of the boys have been there. Maybe if I throw it in the A tier, they'll be wanting to come. Yeah, no, that's easy. Let's go.
All right, Truist Park in Atlanta. It was hot when we went down there, but Liam, you got a lot of good things to say about it.
The atmosphere was so lit. People love the Braves and everyone's there to bull and party.
The Battery is absolutely lit. We ate out there before the game. The food was great, so I'm sure the food inside of the ballpark is just as good as it is out there. As for the stadium, newer stadium, right field, they got the Chop House. I think it's pretty cool. I think I would put it right there around where the New York ones are.
Yeah.
Maybe just to split them up so that it's not tense between the Yankees and Mets. We'll put the Braves right there.
Shout out Atlanta.
All right, next is Wrigley Field's America's second most beloved ballpark, I would say.
Yep.
It kind of falls in the Red Sox shadow because Fenway is just so historic.
It's just
like,
the history behind it. But you went there a lot recently. I went there when I was a kid, so like I remember like the wow factor, but I don't remember like the actual
atmosphere. And everything.
atmosphere.
Yeah, we sat front row. Me and Gabe sat front row. I like Wrigley Field a lot. I definitely think it's an A tier, but it just doesn't give me that same like oomph as like the top 4 in the A. I'd say it's right behind Busch,
All right.
which Cubs fans, you'll be mad about that. I'm sorry because I put the Cardinals right above you. A top 10 stadium for sure. Overall, it's definitely way better than their counterpart in Chicago and Southside. I think it could use some upgrades, but you don't want to mess with like the authenticity of it. So strong mid-tier A. 2 more left. The best for last, guys. If you haven't been to the Coliseum, all the pictures you see online are real. Like you're peeing in a bucket and the stadium's falling apart above you.
The nostalgia though.
I'm gonna pay respects and put it above the White Sox. The new stadium is obviously gonna be a minor league park, so it would be below that just because it's a minor league park. Big stadiums definitely was better for football, probably.
It's so unique.
I can't move it from that spot. No.
There, no. You know what? As a respect thing, I'll put Tropicana below it. How about that? Yeah. Tropicana Field, I'll put that below it. So that's our final rankings right now.
Rays are using a AAA field. Rays are using Yankee spring training.
So that's our final rankings right now. We have our top 5. We're all gonna secretly rank on our phone our number 1 favorite. Whichever one gets the most votes is the number 1 overall stadium in our perspective. So with that said, whip out your phones, everybody. So let's start with Fenway Park. Who voted Fenway Park as their number 1? 1, 2, 3. That might be our winner. Anybody vote Dodgers as their number 1? No. Anybody vote Padres as their number 1?
Respect.
Damn.
Padres, that's 2.
So it's game!
Giants as their
That
number
says a
1.
lot.
Giants, anybody? No.
Dan, you got
What?
You vote for PNC. I haven't voted yet. I do have a tiebreaker. I could tie it with the Padres or beat it with the Red Sox. I think you guys know where I'm going. Red Sox is my number 1. Fenway Park is number 1. I guess that kind of makes Padres number 2, Pirates number 3, Giants and Dodgers kind of tied at 4.
Seems reasonable.
That seems reasonable. Shout out Fenway Park. You have to go 100%. You may not agree with us because, you know, it's not the newest up-to-date ballpark. It has so much nostalgia. For everyone, it has so much nostalgia. I think Fenway Park is the
warm
greatest park in
summer night.
baseball.
Comment down below what your guys' favorite stadium.
Tell us where you guys would put your number 1. Tell us where we messed up. Tell us where we could improve next time. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one very, very soon. Make sure to subscribe if you guys are new. Tons of videos on the way. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go.
Peace.
Enjoy the show!